Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Manny here from Untitled TCG, bringing you my green-red hybrid deck profile. If you like the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. I also stream on Twitch every now and then. The link to that will be below. So let's get straight into the deck profile. First, we start off with the babies. We run 4 Kapuri, 1 Dummy Mara. I wouldn't change the eggs for anything. Kapiri is stronger than Demimera because a lot of times you want to swing into the Digimon and you're always going to have a Mimi out. For the most part, you'll have a Tamer out. So next, we are running for Gauss. Gauss put in so much work today against a yellow-purple, also against blue. Let's push this to the side. Next, we're running 3 Flamemon. I do like this Flamemon. I almost never hard play it for the effect to grab a hybrid. It does come up sometimes. Most of the time, though, I am just digivolving the eggs. And then the cool thing about this is it is at 2K, and it is a hybrid as well. So you can go ahead and you can use the atomic to buff it up a little bit, maybe swing over something or swing into security sec +1 when you're playing against blue hybrid or any of these hybrid decks. Most of the time it's gonna survive, so you can potentially get the 2 checks. If it dies, that's okay, it did its job. Next we are running excuse me, next we are running 3 Boko. It speaks for itself. Boko is Boko. The cool thing about running Boko in this deck compared to any other decks is all the other decks are cool. It's free. With the JP, it reduces the Digi-Evolution cost of all your level 4s by 1. So then you're basically you're gaining 2 memory off of that. So you're gonna, let's say you're at 3, you Digivolve over a JP for 1, gain 2, so now you're at 4. It's pretty OP in this deck. Next, we're running 2 Gumon, and this is just for the draw 1 on swing. Surprisingly, a lot of times this actually survived, and it forced my opponent to swing into it, because if not, I'm just gaining so much advantage off of this. Alright, next we'll move over to the hybrids. These are pretty standard. We're running 4 Beetlemon, 4 Metal Cobbletary, 1 Arbor. Next for the level 5s, we actually just run 4 Rhino Cobbletaries. Again, standard, self-explanatory. I did try out running an Argo Mod, but it just didn't synergize with the deck enough. So I went ahead and cut that. And the deck space is really tight, so it doesn't leave room for a lot of techs. Next, we run for the level 6s 4 Ancient Beetle. This card is so cracked. If you don't know, the combo usually is you go into a Rhino off of one of your other hybrids, hopefully with a Tamer underneath, so that it only costs 1. You'll swing Rhino Cobbletary and then Digivolve into Ancient Beetle on top for a cost of 3 instead of the standard level 5 cost to Digivolve. And what this does, it allows once per turn, whenever one of your hybrids deletes a Digimon and survives, trash the top card of security. So normally, if you have a JP underneath, you're gonna swing into a Digimon, trash the top card of security, and they get 1 check for piercing as long as you have JP underneath. So that's cracked. Next, we're running 2 Argo Mods, and this card is a VIP in the deck. It was amazing today. there's so many times where my opponent would try to just play out Tamers so that I wasn't able to suspend and trash cards. But all I would do is they have 3-4 Tamers, maybe some Karis, and I would just Digizorb. And once you Digizorb, it only costs 2. It reduces the cost by 2. And then it suspends all your Tamers. Their Tamers don't unsuspend for the turn. So now if they're going over any of their Tamers, they'll all be rested. So then it makes it so much easier just to swing over everything. Next, we are running 4 Atomic Infernos. I've seen a lot of lists cut this to 3, and I think that's 100% wrong. I think you have to see this, especially against blue, to be able to compete with it. You want to get as many checks as possible, and this turning all of your hybrids into AKB Sec +1, 11k for Rhino is insane. And also another thing that you could do is Atomic Inferno on the Rhino, then go ahead, swing Digivolve into the Ancient Beetle. Now it's getting the trashing from the top plus Sec +1. So it's ridiculous. Next we're running 3 Thunder Laser. I saw a lot of lists cutting this down to 2, and I feel like the card is way too good to cut this down. You have to see this, because most of the time they'll set you down. Maybe they'll play a Madoki Beta. You can use this to suspend it, swing over with one of your red rookies, and then start going off with your plays. Of course, as long as you have a hybrid or 10 warriors out. Next to Atomic Blaster, I wish I could run 3, but I just can't find the space for it. That's another thing that people would do, especially blue hybrid players. They would just start spamming out their Madoki Betas and Argo Mods. And at that point, I could just Atomic Blaster their whole entire board, and they're set so far behind. For the Tamers, we are running 4 JP, 3 Mimi. Something that a lot of people are running at 1, but I think is just way too cracked, is Izzy Mimi. I think this should be at 2. Literally, just because, first of all, with blue, in order for them to do anything with their Beowulf and not lose it and try to gain value, they have to swing. What this does is, if one of your opponent's Digimon are suspended at the beginning of your turn, gain 2 memory. So this puts a lot of people in a bad position to just start hard playing Digimon, and then you just Atomic Blaster their board. And then most of the time they don't want to swing because they don't want to give you the memory. And for the last, well, actually, and then another thing that it does is, if you don't have a level 3 in hand or a level 6 in hand, you swing your level 5, you tap the Izzy Mimi, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. If there is a level 6, you Digivolve from that level 5 into that level 6 for free. So the card is cracked, and it happened so many times that I was able to swing, either get an Ancient Beetle to trash the top card, or go into Argo off of it. Man, it just puts your opponent in a really bad position. And for the last one, I'll go Izzy Azumi. I never used this card for the most part. Most of the time it was just to either memory choke my opponent or just go over with a hybrid if I didn't have a JP. So that is the deck. As far as the matches, because I did play this in the Ultimate Cup today, the top cut one, I played Diaboromon. I actually played Black King, and he played Diaboromon. I unfortunately took a loss on that one. Round 2, I played a yellow purple. I won that. Round 3, I played another yellow purple. I also won that. The deck is so aggressive that as long as you don't brick, most of the time you can just go in and just start going ham on your opponent's security, and they can't recover enough with everything that you're putting out. Next, round 4, I played blue hybrid, and unfortunately I lost to that one due to bricks. It is what it is. I do think that this deck does have a decent blue hybrid matchup. I would say it's about 50-50, so it's not too bad. Round 5, I played against red hybrid. I won that one. Unfortunately, my opponent bricked. Excuse me. Round 6, I played another yellow purple, which I did win. Round 7, I played a blue hybrid. I won that one. His security he didn't have anything in security, and I was also able to go up into Ancient Beetle and swing out and trashed. I believe game 1 I trashed an ice wall, and then after that I swung into another Digimon and trashed a Joe. So after that it was a wrap. And then game 2, his security was terrible. He had literally all rookies in there. Then round 8, which is the last round, it was another blue hybrid, and unfortunately I lost to that as well. But that's gonna wrap up the deck profile. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I'd love to hear the community's feedback, so please leave a comment below with the changes that you'd make to the deck, or if this helped you with your deck. Deuces.